Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm George Balekji. Austin has the night off. A Webb City man is dead after being ejected from his truck. 82-year-old Merle Novell's truck was traveling eastbound on Missouri I-96 half a mile west of Oronogo yesterday afternoon when a second vehicle struck him traveling northbound. The second vehicle had failed to yield, hitting Norvell's truck from the rear. Norvell's truck then overturned and he was ejected. He was later pronounced dead at Mercy Hospital. The 2018 Missouri legislative session is just 5 days away from being completed, but State Representative Bill White says there's still work to be done. White says a number of issues could be decided this week, like tort reform measures and adding right to work to the Missouri Constitution. He says so far this has been a very productive year in Jefferson City, despite the controversy surrounding Governor Eric Greitens. Several items have been passed by a legislator, including a budget that fully funds the education formula and puts more money into higher education. White says with a number of bills that could be completed throughout this last week, it's set to be a very successful year for the legislator.
We have done more in the House this year than we did last year, and I would say more than any 2 years under the Nixon administration. The House has been very efficient. I told one of the newspapers the only real distraction we had was them trying to get us to say it was a distraction.
But work won't stop once session ends. The Missouri legislature has passed a petition calling themselves back to Jefferson City for a special session to discuss impeaching Governor Greitens. White says that special session technically starts at 6:30 this Friday evening, but the full legislature won't return until sometime later. In the beginning, a special committee will be working to put together a report with recommendations to the state legislature. Once that is completed, White says the full body will return for 1 or 2 days to decide what to do next. He says he didn't sign the petition for this special session because the facts still haven't been decided in court.
We could call ourselves in at any time we need to discuss impeachment. If you get a felony conviction, that is definitely grounds to discuss impeachment with. But right now, I still think it's premature. You've got a criminal case going on, too, technically.
Jury selection is still underway in the governor's invasion of privacy case. He's also facing charges related to a donor list from the nonprofit The Mission Continues. And the summer-like temperatures continue today, but will we see any relief? Meteorologist Adam Sherwinski has our Fastcast. Adam, will I be able to, add a few layers at all?
Absolutely not, George. In fact, I'd take those layers off, put some shorts on, maybe a tank top, because it's going to still be warm this week. We had warm temperatures today across the entire 4 states, and it looks to continue all the way even into next weekend. More on that in just a bit. Let's get to the Fastcast right now. You can see a lot of showers and thunderstorms well west of our viewing area. We've had mostly clear skies here during the day. Warm temperatures still in the 4 states, 75 here in Joplin, 72 in Monette, 73 in Grove. Still warm here next to that southerly flow. For tomorrow, though, we could see a lot of sunshine, but by the time we get to the late evening hours, that's when we see another round of showers, maybe even some strong thunderstorms as well. I'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit here, George.
Mothers across the country received some much-deserved appreciation today, including plenty of love here in the 4 states. A city retail services study shows that most people celebrated an average of 2 mothers today, with 1 in 3 celebrating an annual tradition. While 58% of consumers planned ahead, 42% waited until the last minute to figure out what to do. But locals enjoying lunch at Granny Schaefer's say, last minute or not, it's all about showing mom some love.
Being together, we get together and laugh.
All the time.
And then we go back to real life.
I got my mom a birthday and I sent cards out for her.
Also, according to the study, the most popular Mother's Day gift this year was a greeting card, followed by flowers, then a meal out to eat at a restaurant. An annual campaign to get Americans out and about without driving their cars starts this week. National Bike to Work Week starts tomorrow, with Friday being the official Bike to Work Day. The goal is to get people more alert before they walk into the office and cut down on the cost of transportation. Cities across the country will be hosting bicycle-themed events. Here in the 4 states, some residents see it as a change to try out something new.
I would say it's definitely worth a try. Do your best to try and plan out a good route, like here on St. Louis Street and everything. They've got some good bike lanes and stuff now. The League of American Bicyclists created Bike to Work Day in the 1950s.
For some people, the return of summer is a perfect time to slow down and relax. For others, it's just a time to see how fast they can go. Track managers at Mocan Dragway say several of the drivers you'll see this summer are veterans with decades of experience at the Asbury track. The drivers say they keep coming back because of the family bonds they develop with the other drivers. And while the races are known to bring people from all over the area, they've even brought one man from Berlin, Germany. As for the drivers, they feel they've found their fountain of youth.
You don't feel like you're slowing down when you're doing this kind of stuff. You might feel like you're slowing down every day, but not when you're here.
It's much more a people's sport than it is back in Germany or anywhere else where I've ever been to a racing event.
Races will continue at Mocan through October. A program at George Washington Carver National Monument examines some of the other uses of plants besides foods. Carver and Chemurgy was presented this afternoon. Chemurgy is the use of raw agricultural materials and making them into new products. Some products like Henry Ford's soybean car and hemp rope are examples of how Chemurgy was used in the early 20th century. This program discusses Carver's contributions using his work with soybeans, peanuts, and other plants.
With part of the peanut products that George Washington Carver created, he created peanut paper, he created peanut shampoo, he created powders that were for like face powders and stuff.
And coming up on July 14th, George Washington Carver National Monument will celebrate its 75th Carver Day. A local artist combines her love of art with her love of food to create an exhibit for community members to eat up with their eyes. The Josie Mize Eat Art exhibit is currently on display at the Central Hyde House in Carthage. Mize is a director of Spiva Center for the Arts in Joplin and an artist herself. These pieces are hand-rubbed collages of National Geographic and Food magazine clippings. She modge-podges them together to create a savory plate and recipes.
Magazines such as Bon Appetit and Food and Wine, along with notes, what it means to her and things that she's picked up from her travels.
Her display, along with other local artists, can be viewed for free at the Hyde House for free this Friday through Sunday. Missouri lawmakers have passed a 2018 budget plan. Coming up, while it's getting a lot of praise, it's also facing criticism. We'll look at both the support and opposition in this week's Legally Speaking.